It was ironed, but I've had it well done.
I might just randomly through one of the clips just comment on how offensive his shirt is.
Go for it. So,
I got no sleep last night.
right. So first what I wanted to talk about was, did we enjoy the event, and what did we think of the whole day?
I will say yes, because the last time I went to the event, getting from Paddington to XL was really, really awful. But the new Elizabeth line made it a breeze. Now,
Absolutely smooth.
I know we should be talking about the event itself, but let's have a small moment for the Elizabeth line.
The Elizabeth line.
Air-conditioned, direct route, lovely. But yeah, the event itself I thought was amazing. Yeah, it was fantastic. Packed day.
Incredible.
Just disappeared in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it really did. The day absolutely flew by. It was such a good opportunity to not only, I mean, the speakers, the breakout sessions were fantastic, but just to get the opportunity to be in the same room and network with so many other property professionals.
I do think this year the breakout sessions were a huge success because everyone could focus on what they wanted to.
Yeah.
So I did AI. I know you did commercial.
So I did commercial agent in the morning and property auctions in the afternoon. So 2 areas of the market that we don't cover.
Yeah, very, very personal preferences there, Chris. Really good for the business.
I just love banging a hammer.
I appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate you focusing on the business and not yourself.
Well, and I got to meet Phil Serrell.
Yeah,
who's a little hero of mine.
Well, I did a lettings legal update, which was interesting because we're in the middle of an election, and it was just pure speculation about what might come. But they did talk about Scotland and what not to do, which was interesting. But the main one for me was AI, and that was Dave Garland, and he was fantastic. A real presence on the stage. He knew what he was talking about. The first 15 minutes were just about concrete, which was interesting. And we thought we were in the wrong breakout session initially, Chris Webb and I. But a fantastic segue into AI, explained that. And it was fascinating what's happening now, what's coming down the line. For those of us with kids, he was talking about AI agents. They'll be growing up with their own little agents that order pizzas for them. Both scary and impressive.
In equal measures, yeah.
But he was recommending a lot of different software packages, companies that are already using AI to help our industry. And I've already used one of those services since Propertymark One. I've had Box Brownie, of all company names.
Box Brownie.
They virtually stage empty properties. So you upload the images of an empty property, you tell them the theme you would like, modern, contemporary, shabby chic, whatever, and they artificially furnish it. And
does it look?
The results were both hilarious and very good all at once. One of them.
I've got to see this. I've got to see it.
One of them put a double bed in a corridor, which didn't work. That made me laugh. But the other one, it furnished a full living room, and it looked fantastic. You wouldn't know the difference. So mixed results, and we'll see. We'll see.
Is it like AI pictures that you see on Twitter or Facebook where people have got 10 fingers?
No. They're very effective. You have to really look hard to tell the difference. And it's only because I know they've been virtually staged that I'm even looking. If I was just coming at it fresh, I don't think I'd know. And it's only going to improve. That's the whole point. You give it 6 months.
Yeah, we are absolutely.
It's just doing that. It's just going to go nuts. So that was an eye-opening session. I'm glad I joined it, and half an hour just like that. Very, very good.
Fantastic.
So throughout the day, what was the overarching theme of this year's conference, and what were your key takeaways from the day?
For me, it was very much women as role models, women in our industry, women in a male-dominated environment, and they were extremely impressive.
Absolutely. All of the main speakers were without exception, they were fantastic. I think we've both got particular favourites. Mine was Daisy McAndrew, who was the economics editor for ITV News. So she had a session called "Are We Doom, Boom or Gloom?" And it was very much a kind of in-depth look into not just the property industry, but the economy as a whole, explaining where we are, why we are where we are, drilling down into things such as, why the election has been called now, on the back of inflation coming down and the reasons behind that. She just obviously had such a real in-depth, a wealth of knowledge, but broke it down.
I was there,
Yeah.
and I saw her too. She had, she owned the room, and she knew exactly what she was talking about.
Yeah.
And she spoke with such authority. It was very impressive. And actually, she thinks this, she thinks it's booming. So, reasonably positive as well. Probably one of the few more positive speakers speaking positively about the market, where it's going, and what we can expect. So,
Yes.
She was
absolutely.
good. For me, the surprise of the day, because she wasn't meant to be there until the last minute, was Sarah Beanie.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
So big fan, big property ladder fan. My wife and I used to watch that show religiously. The thing that always made us laugh more than anything is that Sarah was pregnant every time she was on camera, but she's got 4 boys, so that's why. But to hear her speak, she was so genuine. She was so down to earth.
She really was.
She
really was.
She spoke about her experience in the industry, everything she's done. And she recently, I had no idea, she recently she had breast cancer, and she beat it. And she spoke so forcefully about it. She wasn't, she wasn't all doom and gloom about it. It empowered her, if anything. Yeah. And she spoke so positively about it. And I had a grin from ear to ear watching her the whole time. I was secretly walking around afterwards trying to find her just to get a selfie so I could say to my wife, "Here's Sarah," but I couldn't find her.
It never happens.
No.
Shame. What a shame.
And then later on in the day, for Alex and I especially, Claire Williams. I'm a big Formula One nerd, so's Alex. And so to see Claire Williams, principal and CEO of the Williams Formula One team, was incredible. She spoke very passionately about working in a male-dominated environment, but what was going through my head the whole time was nerdy questions about engines, cars, aerodynamics. Certain engineers she'd employed, which I don't think she should have. It was very, very niche, but still to hear her talk was inspiring. And to even hear her say that if she was given the opportunity, she'd go straight back. She'd go straight back into it. Yeah. And I thought the sheer pressure cooker of that environment, I thought once you've left
once you've stepped away from it,
you've got kids and a family, and you're focusing on that, to want to go back.
It must be such a buzz.
The mental strength she must have is beyond comprehension. I couldn't do it. No way. Absolutely. You're right. The buzz.
She was great, and it's no secret I'm not a fan of your televised traffic jams. Yeah. But she was fantastic, and everything that she was talking about, although it was quite specific to F1, it related
culture. She was talking about culture within a business, in an industry, and how when she first came to the team, there was that culture that her dad had effectively instilled. But she realised a couple of years later they'd completely lost it, and her entire focus suddenly became culture, the culture of a business. Yeah. And that applies to every business. Doesn't matter where you are, whether you're a Formula One fan or not. We'll convert you one day.
Good luck.
Right, Alex, you've heard from us. Get over here. Time to hear from you.
Take a seats.
Joining the big boys table.
So, Alex, the man who usually asks the questions, what did you enjoy about Propertymark One?
I think mostly for me, it was all about the rise of social media in the industry. I think obviously we as an agency have taken it on board quite seriously recently with my hire. But also us three particularly, Toby as well, we've all been focusing heavily on social media. And I think the key takeaway that I got from the day was talking about the importance of social media going forward within the industry. I think there was a lot of talk about people more recently don't want to be sold to. Most recently, if you look at things like when you're watching a YouTube video and an advert comes up, or you're watching live TV and an advert comes up, what's the first thing you do? First thing you do when you see an advert on TV? Skip it. Or
pause, fast forward.
If you can't skip it,
go and do some more.
A cup of tea.
Exactly. And they were saying it's like people just don't want to be sold to anymore. They will just get up and do something else. Or the other thing they were saying is they're finding lots of people just pull out their phone and will just scroll on social media. In between ad breaks. Yeah. And
I almost take it upon myself to not give them my attention.
Yes, exactly.
Even if I have to put my fingers in my ears and go la la la.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be sold to.
People don't want to be sold to anymore. People want to know the faces behind the company, not the product that a company necessarily.
So I guess it's two-way now, rather than them just shouting an advert at us. Yeah. It's a dialogue.
Yes, absolutely. If you're not participating and engaging with the audience these days, people will not listen to you. And I think the key takeaway, particularly from the second session I went to of the day, was all about branding and brand awareness within the industry. That was more talking about how, whereas in the past we might have all put a bunch of adverts out talking about, here's a property we have for sale, here's our fees compared to others, here's how we're going to benefit you in your house hunt. Nowadays it's all about, right, who are the directors of the company, who are the lettings agents, who are the estate agents who I'm going to be dealing with, and I want to form a connection with these people before I even take my first step.
It should be more about the customers. Instead of saying me, it should be you. What do you want?
Absolutely. And
so what's the most effective thing then? Are we talking, so you say social media, we're talking X, Facebook, Insta, TikTok. Whatever. So what type of post gets the most engagement?
So
are we talking text, image, video?
Video content, absolutely through and through. And I think Toby, one of our director sessions of the day, he led a session about becoming a visual superhero. And that was entirely about video content and how to start. Get a tripod, get a camera, get a cheap set of microphones, and just start recording. Yeah. And when it comes down to what those videos are about, it was talking about showing the people who, potential clients, customers, whoever, even future business partners might be involved with. Because if they have an idea of who you are, then that first connection is already formed. When they meet you for the first time, they already feel like they've already met you. They have a friendship with you. They might have already seen you on camera. They might be able to make a comment or a joke saying, oh, Chris, I saw you down by the river the other day recording that video. Oh, Ben, I saw your review on this that you did the other day for your social media. It was great. Loved it. And I saw your tips on being a landlord that we've been doing a lot of. And they were saying that rather than walking around showcasing the properties that you might have, focus on walking around and showcasing who you are and your agency. There was a point at the start of one of the sessions, they got everyone in the room stand up, about 50 of us, and they just started racking out questions. It was like, guess who? And they were saying, sit down if your agency doesn't record just property videos. And half the people in the room sat down straight away because they only record property videos.
So percentage-wise, how many? What would you say percentage-wise? How many people were left standing at the end?
By the time they'd asked all the questions, three of us were left standing.
So by taking those tiny little baby steps into doing video and social media marketing, you're literally in the top 2-3%.
Absolutely. Even if you're just showcasing, doing one video a week, talking about here's a new company that's just opened up right on the doorstep of town. Here's a nice walk you can take. If you're varying it just by that one extra bit, you are so much further ahead than any other agent locally. And that was the key takeaway of the day is all of us are, the main bit that stuck out to me is we are all experts in our area. I mean, both of you two, for example, have grown up, lived, and know Bath like the back of your hands. You know that place better than anyone else does, especially people who are relocating. So why should we just be showing off the places where people are going to live when realistically people are going to be wanting to know about the time they spend outside of their house, the time they spend outside of work. They want to know where can they visit on the weekend, what shops are good in town, what restaurants would you recommend, where's a nice walk. Let's have a look at the exterior. You know, even just getting a drone shot and putting it up on social media, they could be like, wow, look at this amazing city I'm about to move to.
Let's not give too many tips away.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, that's very true.
I think the main takeaway from this section of this video definitely is do not buy shirts where Chris buys his shirts. Other than that, you're golden.
Look, the sun's not shining today, but I bet you're feeling summery after seeing these beautiful little flowers.
Summer is not the word we were looking for.